everybody, this is Martin here, back with another Legacy Storm video. Playing the list I've been playing lately: 2 Passing Flames, 2 Tendrils, 1 each of Dark Petition and Grim Tutor, 4 Infernal Tutor, no Preordains, 1 each of Thoughtseize and Duress. Running 2 Thoughtseizes, but then I got wrecked in a couple of games, where my ad nauseum was just 1 shade 2 palette, and yeah, so there's that. In my sideboard, I'm trying, once again, after my Triumph versus Miracles yesterday, I'm trying Sphinx of the Final Word. I've complemented it with a couple of Pithing Needle in anticipation of Terminus being a problem. Pithing Needle is great against Miracles. The trade-off is we can't really play our own top. Also, Flusterstorm becomes less of a card, so I've removed the Flusterstorms from the sideboard, which in theory weakens us a bit against a combo. But I think we're still okay. Like, we're still good against show and tell based combo with the Sanded Swarms, even though there's a lot of that going around. And Flusterstorm is kind of so-so in that matchup. So Flusterstorm was basically for the mirror. But that was when I was playing like a top in the main and top in the side. It might still be correct to run some sort of like counter stuff. Flusterstorm is also like off and on nice against blue decks to like get in the way of like their soft permission or stifles or whatever, and can also be good against discard, but I never really used them that way. I've replaced the 2 Flusterstorms with a Carpet of Flowers and a Pithing Needle, and the second needle is in place of the Sensei's top that was running here. So there's that. Let's see how we do. Okay, we're on the draw. Opponent kept 7. We get this hand. I think we keep. It's a bit soft to Wasteland and a bit slow, as we don't have, like, we have 2 double up on our 2 not so great tutors and no ritual effects, but we get the draw step and we get to ponder, hopefully. I mean, and then see where we go from there. We're pretty well set up to fight a slow clock, but lots of permission. So I don't know this player. Underground Sea. This does not bode well. This does not bode well at all. This screams Reanimator. In which case, I guess this isn't the worst hand to fight Reanimator because we have a lot of discard, but man, Reanimator is a tough cookie for us to mess with. They take Ponder, obviously. Come on, yeah, okay, so that was lucky. So I think we duress here. If it is Reanimator, like, it's really important that we maximize our Cabal therapies, and I don't think there's like a, I guess like the I was gonna say there isn't a no-brain choice to name on therapy. I guess it would be Entomb. So like, if we duress them here and then they daze us, that's what we really don't want to happen, which is why I'm considering just shooting off a therapy first. So we'd rather have them daze that, but then we might miss on the therapy. Let's say we'll name Entomb. If they don't have Entomb, they might have something like Brainstorm, Force, a couple of reanimation cards. I think actually no. I think we duress, risk them having the therapy. Oh, sorry, the daze. And it is Reanimator. Okay, they have the Grave Titan, they have Island, they have Sea. I really don't know what to take here. I think we have to take the Entomb, because like Brainstorm is basically looking for Entomb. Like, if we take Brainstorm, then they'll get to Entomb no matter what, and then it's just a matter of them sort of top decking or cantripping into an animation spell. So as much as it pains me to leave them with this Brainstorm and kind of render our 2 call therapies a little bit impotent, I think that's the correct thing to do. Kind of makes me sad that I didn't go with the therapy on Entomb, because then like the duress is worth much more after they after they brainstorm, but yeah, live and learn. So for anyone that hasn't really played this matchup before on either side, it's a quite poor matchup for Storm. It remains really to be seen just how poor it is, in my opinion, but it's not good. Like, I mean, sometimes it feels like it's like 90-10 or like 80-20 in their favor. I don't think it's quite that sort of bad, but okay, so we have the choice of therapy here. But I think I'd actually prefer to not do that. And then have them brainstorm next turn and then double therapy in the same turn would be kind of more sort of locked into getting value. A little issue is that I don't want them to know what I've drawn, so that because that like the more information they have on their hand about our hand, the easier it is for them to brainstorm. So I don't want to play out the Badlands. I want to play out the Volcanic, but that means that in case next turn I like draw a yeah, I don't know. I guess it's not even that big of a deal. It just means I probably have to play out the Badlands next turn and not a fetch land if I were to like hit Brainstorm or whatever, but I guess it doesn't matter that much. Oh, I wonder if I should be bringing in Sphinx of the Final Word against them. Probably not, but yeah, I mean, Show and Tell is a card in those decks, and I guess Show and Tell, Gristlebrand versus Sphinx. I think I take the Sphinx. But anyway, that's for later. So let's see what they do. I don't like this brainstorm at end of turn if I'm them. Like, they know they don't have to play around counter magic, soft permission, so I don't think their mana is that much of a premium. I'd rather get a card deeper, but man, that's me. If they have Entomb, I like it more because then it's a shuffle effect. Watery Grave. Okay, so we're facing a sort of, I guess, a little bit of a budget build. I don't think it really comes into play that much in this matchup. Having said that, I draw Tendrils though. I wonder what here. So a line is to Badlands and then play Grim Tutor, and then grab like a ritual effect, and then on subsequent turns go like ritual, Dark Petition, get another ritual, couple of therapies, Tendrils eventually. That's a kind of a long. It's a long time to hope they don't get anything, although they didn't shuffle, so they're kind of locked in. We could also just take 2 cards from them. Though, like, I think we want a therapy, because if they have actually hit discard spell, or sorry, reanimation spell and Entomb, then we want to force their hand now and then take their discard spell, or their reanimation spell. So they're in the tank. So what's the name? So I feel like they would 100% have cast Entomb if they had it in response to this therapy. So I think it's likely that they either have a cantrip, which I also think they would have fired off last turn. So no. So probably just what? Like counter spells? Feels kind of I don't know, suboptimal naming Force of Will here, but I don't like the other choice is like a reanimation spell, but I'd rather like they have 3 different ones potentially, like reanimate, exhume, and made dead, and instead of blind naming that, I think I go with Force of Will. Okay, so reanimate. So they have grave tight. They have. I know. They have tight spout. Okay, so like small thing here, but if it ever becomes like relevant, then like though if they end up thought seizing themselves, and like these are probably two of the least more like troublesome fatties in their deck for us. So like the question now is, do we fire off the second therapy and name reanimate in case they like draw the entomb? That leaves us kind of cold to them drawing like a force, but they would have kept it. So like we know that their next draw step is crap probably. So then that could also, I mean, we should just wait with the therapy and like see what they drew. Yeah, actually, I like that. So we therapy them for reanimate next turn. Wow, so many tutors. So a thing here would also be to like Infernal Tutor for a therapy. Okay, so now I feel silly. We definitely want them to have reanimate over exhume. So now it's not so great for us. Now they're getting a fresh card, and they still have a reanimation spell. They could have drawn like a force. We're not that scared of force, but still. Oops. Like the big hoser for us is Iona, by the way, in this matchup. So I guess we want that. Grim Tutor is 5, Infernal Tutor makes it 6. I think we take a Cabal Ritual over a Dark Ritual. Okay, so they play out a Strand. That means Force of Will is Heartcast is live. I think we just ponder. I think we take Thoughtseize and then draw Tarn next turn. And then try and beat them. Yeah, okay, they do the force. So we have to take force. And then hope they don't get to entomb. Now we actually have decisions to make. So like if we go Cabal Ritual, Dark Petition, grab Cabal Ritual, 3 floating, 2 untapped lands, we Infernal Tutor for a Cabal Ritual, 3 untapped, or like 1 floating, 2 untapped lands, with Cabal Ritual, Cabal Ritual. That takes us to 6 to 9. We Past in Flames, they counter it. We Tendrils for the win. Is that enough Storm? It's like Cabal Ritual, Dark Petition, Cabal Ritual, Infernal Tutor, Cabal Ritual, Past in Flames. They force at 7. Tendrils is 8. It's not enough. I still think I like that play, or Dark Petition for something else. Alright, let's see what they do. We do this. So it's either Force or Brainstorm. Hmm. So like if I had Force, I think I'd be happy forcing here. Getting a 2-for-1. So where does this play leave us? That's Storm 2. We get a Cabal Ritual and cast that. Storm 3, double Ritual 5-6. Thing is, we can't really flashback Cabal or Passive Flames this turn. We only have one red once we've done all this. We get 3 mana from this. We use 2 to cast Infernal Tutor. So that leaves us with 3. That becomes 6. Yeah. So what happens if we just grab Duress here? Well, yeah, no, that's no good. I think we just have to hope they didn't get the Force. Man, it does smell like a Force. The way they're dilly-dallying around. Okay, and so we have to save our red mana. Okay, so we have 8, 9. I guess, like, worst comes to worst, so what do we do here? We, like, that becomes Storm 6 if they have something Storm 8, so we can Tendril them for 16, which means Grizzlebrand, for the time being at least, is somewhat off the table. And Animate, and, like, Reanimate is definitely off the table, but we know they have Entomb, or Exhume, sorry, so, okay, they didn't have it. Fantastic. So that's that. So we want Ad Nauseam, and we want double up on the Xantid Swarm. Come to think of it, we don't want Sphinx of the Final Word at all, obviously, because we want Ad Nauseam, and I don't want to, if I can help it, I don't want to jam a 7-drop in my Ad Nauseam deck. I want to dump the Empty the Warrens and the Grim Tutor. I actually like having 2 Tendrils because, like, a mini Tendrils can sometimes be very decisive here. I also like hedging with Chain of Vapor against their Iona. So I guess that means we're cutting, I think I like cutting an island here, like a land. Probably I'm cutting a Dark Petition. So, that sucks. I don't think I can keep this. I mean, we don't have any way to get further into our deck, and the 2 petals, like, we're super soft too. Like, I really don't want to be in a place where I'm, like, peddling to discard without a land, so I'm gonna mulligan. This, on the other hand, I like. We do need some. Do I take this? Yeah, I guess. Like, we're, I guess, like a black mana source away from something, right? Because we have the Passive Flames. We can go turn 1 Xantid Swarm. Yep. Mind you, we might just die on turn 1. Leyline of the Void. That's hot. That shuts off our Passive Flames. It means we have to probably get our Ad Nauseam back on top of our library somehow. Okay, they just have it all. It appears so. Okay. they don't draw right away. So I mean, if we can get this into play, that's a really big if. They have days and they don't even draw. Okay, I think that's unless they have a way to get Iona soonish. We're like, depending on how greedily they use their Bristlebrand, we're like not far off. Just tutor for tendrils. If I'm them, I don't draw with Bristlebrand. Unless you have a way to get Iona into play this turn. Unless you like feel confident that that's going to happen. I guess a Thoughtseize here would hurt us a lot. Yeah. Arduous. Please take ad nauseum. I don't think we really stand much of a chance in the face of like their not draw, which I think this one is. They took ad nauseum? Oh, great. So what are they binning? Just another Bristlebrand. Oh, shoot. Well, no point in attacking. So, like, and they just keep drawing. I think we're in a bad way anyways. Like, I think we need to hit Brainstorm. Okay. Well, that's that, I think. I guess Brainstorm into Petal Infernal Tutor gets us there. Or some combination of that, or like a probe and a tutor, and we put the tutor on top, and like we're not out of it. If they have another discard spell, I think we're, yeah. Passion Flames, what is this person doing? You have Leyline of the Void. Well, this is in part why this matchup feels so bad, is also because like I'm just making a really like super impolite generalization, but like I think newer players gravitate towards this archetype because you get so many free wins, and when you then play a deck which is, I think, has a bit of a steeper learning curve in Storm, so it means you have to basically like study it to become well versed in it, and you then one of your worst matchups is generally played by people that make weird and oftentimes wrong decisions like this. Then you lose anyway. That's quite frustrating. Yeah, we're dead. I mean, we could block with the Swarm, but then we're super dead. They have drawn 3 times with Gristlebrand, so we have to assume stack interaction. I don't think I board any differently. And maybe this person even thinks that Gristlebrand is just like the bee's knees against Storm, so they won't go for Iona, but I want to be on the play. Oh, this is tough, right? Like, we're just dead in the water to a turn 1, but I mean, I don't think we can mulligan against that. We can't, like, I guess we could mulligan for like discard, but we can't expect our deck to give us a turn 1 kill ourselves. So this hand is like it's also vulnerable against their Leyline of the Void. That being said, like they have shown a propensity to being like to disregarding their own life total, so we could like pedal ritual tendrils as a line. I think I'm going to keep it. I really want them to be punished for running those ley lines. Come on, bad boy. Mulligan. Nope, they keep, but they don't have the ley line. So, just do this. We don't want to just die here, and we also don't want to get discarded. But yeah, one of those things was going to happen. I wonder what they take. The obvious take here is Dark Ritual, but they might take the Past in Flames for all I know. Judging from last game. No, okay. So, Brainstorm, come on. Yes! It doesn't always happen like this, I swear. Do we have the win if they don't have Force? In which case, this is Storm 1. We can go. We put back the Tarn and 1 petal, I guess. So we go LEDs 2, petal 3, petal 4, sack LED. So we have 6 mana. Flashback, Past in Flame. That's 5. Flashback, Dark Ritual 6. Tendril set. No. I still think we put back those cards though. Right, so I don't like where we're sitting right now. That Brainstorm should have shown some, like, we needed other things. We needed like a cantrip and a discard spell. So Grizzlebrand, Grizzle Daddy. I wonder if I take the 3rd petal. You know what, I don't think so. I think I shuffle. Because we still can go petal LED tendrils if they grab Grissy. Chain of Vapor is okay, I guess. They just have Exhume. Okay, now good. So I think what I want to happen here is I want them to reanimate Grizzlebrand. And then I want them to draw with Grizzlebrand, I guess. And then I want end of turn Chain of Vapor, and then they force that, and then I think they just die. So like, if I don't Chain of Vapor now, I can Chain of Vapor. I can hope to draw a land, and then Chain of Vapor on my turn for the extra storm. But I think what happens here is, so we Chain of Vapor their Grizzlebrand. If they, worst case scenario, they have Flusterstorm, which leaves them at 9. The thing is, if we don't do it now and we untap and we don't draw a mana source, then we can't just petal tendrils because we need the 1 mana. So I think I actually like to do it now. If they Force of Will, they're likely dead. The only thing that keeps them alive is a Flusterstorm in that case. Okay, that's frustrating. But like they have 3 cards. What are the odds? Or like they have 4. Well, like, what are the odds? I don't feel like unjustly treated. I guess I'm just saying, like, I don't think I had to play around that. Come on. Alright, hang on. So, we drew a ritual, which is really good. If that resolves, they die, basically. How are we more likely than not to have that resolve? Like, if we Underground Sea, what do they know of our hand? They know, well, we've brainstormed actually since they saw our hand, so our hand could be anything. Like, if we play out a petal and then Underground Sea tap to cast Dark Ritual, then I think they might be less likely to just go for the force because we have a second black source. Like if I go Dark Ritual now, they might fear that I have a discard spell leading into a win. But if they're thinking about our tendrils, if that's on their radar, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes! Sorry, got excited there. So we win. Whew. I guess actually no, we don't win it, or no, we do win. I was gonna say they just concede. I guess they knew the tendrils was coming. So I was gonna say like they might draw into double force and then double force 2 copies of tendrils, but that would obviously take them down to 2 life and they would die from the other copies. So I got really lucky. That's how I always feel when I beat Reanimator, which doesn't happen that often. Let's face it, they just usually, like their combo is, it's more lean, I guess. It's like a 2-card combo. And they have like counter spells as well as discard, where we only have discard. And their counter spells protect them from our combo. So like they're like goldfishing almost, whereas we have to play around like Force of Will Days, but then also like a turn 1, turn 2 explosive like combo deck. I think the price they pay is like they get way worse, like they have like less consistency and they get way worse opening hands, like disconnected opening hands with like all one part of the combo kind of thing. That being said, I mean, sometimes when I get to see Reanimator play out, I just feel like, wow, that deck is like ridiculously strong. But then whenever I've tried to build it, I've been let down, in part by how boring it is, truth be told, but also just like you're quite soft against Deathrite Shaman Delver decks, I think, and it's a bit too sort of close my eyes kind of deck and hope for the best. Well, anyway, so thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you another time. Bye.